Hey, how's it going, guys? I know everybody's been hitting me up on Messenger and all the groups wanting to know my opinion on the 850 Polaris RMK and the Alpha, because I bought both and was going to tell you guys what I thought after I broke them in, which the pluses and minuses of both, and so on and so forth. So anyway, I did make a little video, but I started to edit it while I was out in Cook City, and I just felt under the weather. I was sicker than hell. Feel better now, but anyway, I'll redo this thing for you guys. So anyway, I'll start with the 850. That's what I'm sitting on right now. The lime squeeze 850. I'll get a shot of it. Just pulled into the garage, get it thawed out. But anyway, so yeah, the 850, it's awesome. It's a good sled. It's a big improvement from what they needed to improve upon. Obviously, everybody is well aware of the Axis platform, what it can do and what it does since it came out in 16. Every time I rode an Axis, I loved the sled. It just felt like it just made you work twice as hard to get it on edge. It stays on edge probably better than any sled in the industry. It's very predictable. That's what it's known for. But just it's hard to get it on edge. It wasn't as nimble as, say, like the 850 Skidoo and the new Ascender Arctic Cats and so on. But some may disagree with me, but that's just the way I felt. I always said if they put a bigger motor and a better front end, I'd buy one, and that's what they did. And so I went and bought one. New front end, yeah, it's way better. It's a lot nicer, goes over easier, makes you work a lot less. The new motor, I don't know, I'm nowhere near breaking on the 850. I didn't ride it much. I went one day in some really nasty, gnarly, deep, steep trees. And that was the only day that I really put this sled through what I thought its utmost potential. The rest of the time was just on the trail. I will say that the sled on the trail, everybody has to get to the mountains on the trail. We all do. And the trail beats you up. It sucks. Long tracks hate trails. Mountain sleds hate trails. But the Axis rides good. It's like a Cadillac. It rides really nice on the trail. I thought it handled better than some of the most, the best sleds out there. I mean, way better than the Alpha. No comparison. But like I say, it's still an Axis. There's nothing surprising about it. I mean, other than, okay, the front end makes it handle a little bit better to go over on edge, but that's simply it. And it's got a bigger motor. The 800 was always underpowered as far as I was concerned. It was way underpowered, so everybody put turbos on the 800 Axis. But, other than that, I really can't tell much. I mean, the sled's still obviously in break-in mode. It's just running so rich. It pulls. I know the sled pulls like no other. It just seems to go and go and go and pull and pull. It's definitely sweet in that respect. As far as anything else special, there's just nothing new on it that I can speak of. I mean, other than the motor is, an improvement, and so is the front end. But I guess that's about all I can give you guys right now. But I'll switch over to what I think about the Alpha, and then at the end of that, I'll tell you what I think the pluses and minuses of both are. All right, peace. All right, guys. Coming back to you now with the Alpha review. 165 Alpha. I think I'm pretty sure I got all the way through break-in on that sled. I loaded it up today. I think it had like a little over 11 hours. I don't know how many miles that is, but it had like 11 some hours or something on it. So that one's through break-in. Spent a lot of time on that sled. I really liked it. It was just a fun sled. It was different. Sled just fit me well. It was, I haven't rode Arctic Cat much at all. Last 2 years I was on a Gen 4 850. Last year's I put a 921 big bore in it and ran that sled. So Arctic Cat's kind of new to me. I used to run snowcross years and years ago with Arctic Cat, and that's what I ran. But anyway, so it's kind of a new deal, this Arctic Cat mountain sled. It was really sweet. That skid I think is definitely gonna change mountain riding. Deep powder, technical, tree riding, that's where that sled shines. It really does suck on hard pack and trail. The trail manners on that sled were a little difficult. I hear a lot of people saying that, oh, it rides no different than my mountain cat on the trail, and I don't know if those mountain cats handle that bad, but I tweaked and tweaked and tweaked on these suspension settings all week. I got it pretty close to where I thought it was pretty good for both trail, and then I would switch it on over and lock it out in some steep and deep. But yeah, it was sweet. The 800 C-Tech was I was kind of worried about it with the 800, and that thing was a screaming machine. That C-Tech 800 has a lot of mid-range. It hits harder than I think in through the mid-range in any sled on the market right now, 850s combined. The 850 Polaris pulls, and then the 850 Skidoo has a lot of low end and a lot of snap, but that 800 just screams in mid-range. Was pretty impressive. It's almost like, to me, it almost felt like a mod sled in all actuality. It felt like a modded motor sled. I mean, it even sounds different. Like when you start it and on idle, it even kind of has like that, like that kind of a, pipey sound to it. But was very impressed with that 800. On mine particular sled, I'm keeping the Alpha, and I actually just wrapped it last night, put a skin seat on it, and I took it in, and it's getting a turbo, belt drive, B&M boards and B&M bumpers and the whole 9 yards. So tricking that baby out, throwing some boost at it, and it should get interesting. I'm gonna do a lot of testing with clutching and tuning, and I think there's a lot there to play with, and working with a company to do that. We're gonna be working on that for quite some time. But anyway, more on the sled. It really is sweet. I definitely was way overriding it. I had a few people that I let take it for a ride, and they just override the thing too. It's just so easy to override these new sleds. It goes over so easy with that track and whatnot. But the nice thing that you can do when you're in the trees, you can just kind of do all this. It moves so effortlessly and freely through, and you can weave in and out of them trees real easy. And then that track just finds traction where other sleds just don't find that traction, which was pretty sweet. You'd think you're stuck. I'd get in situations where I thought for sure, man, I'm a goner, I'm stuck, and then kind of pin and wiggle and hold her to the bar, and next thing you know, climbs right out of it, and it's like, wow, that's crazy. I couldn't do that on a normal sled. But I didn't side hill with it, like as far as like go across a big open stretch mountain and just hold a side hill. Granted, I side hilled in the trees and stuff, and it was fine, but to like sit there and just hold an edge and go all the way across, I really didn't get that experience, because I really don't ride in that terrain a lot. I don't ride in the open terrain a whole lot of time. Just kind of, when you come to the open, I just kind of powder carve and try to get it, and then head to the trees and play from there. But I think now if we do like a comparison, I mean, the Polaris definitely handles way better on the trail than the Alpha. Suspension was a little bit more plush and kind of soaked that up. Granted, it might just have something to do with the different shocks, but I think that skid has a lot of torsion and flex, which is kind of the Alpha is kind of accentuates the handling. Isn't the greatest on hard pack. I mean, it was specifically built for powder and deep powder. Didn't have any issues with it. Followed some plugs. It was just running way too rich in break-in mode, but I think pretty much everybody's doing that. These break-in modes suck, but as far as like the Polaris, I mean, I don't know. I mean, the Axis is no big surprise. I mean, it's still the same Axis, just handles better, has more power. I still think the Axis holds an edge probably better than most any sled on the market. It just does. It kind of locks in there. I don't like the geometry on that sled just really works. But still, the Alpha just it out handles it, outmaneuvers it, and just finds traction better. I mean, it just does. For me, it does. Maybe some other people don't, but I rode that Alpha. I just couldn't get off of it all week, and then towards the end of the week, I hopped back on the 850, and I was like, man, I got to ride this thing. It was buried under snow in Cook City, and I took the 850 out, got in some pretty gnarly stuff, and I was kind of frustrated. I was really frustrated. I was like, man, put me back on that Alpha. I don't want this sled. Not saying it's a bad sled. It was like totally wrong for me. It just didn't work as good. And I think I got stuck with that Alpha like, I don't know, maybe one time all week. And I went out with the 850 up in the trees, and that's all I was stuck. I just couldn't ride it as good, but it's just rider preference also too. But other than that, I don't know what to tell you. They're both great sleds. I think anybody would be happy with either or. I do have a turbo coming. I think it's coming Tuesday for the 850. I'm still on the fence whether or not I'm going to keep it. I really don't. I was just probably going to sell it, give somebody a good deal on a brand new 850 and a turbo, but we'll see. I don't know. I can't ride both. I was going to keep one for, low elevation. I was going to keep this RMK for low elevation riding because it's got a 2.6 track on it. It'd handle better in kind of the northern Michigan UP style boondocking, and then just use the Alpha for out west. But anyway, that's that. We got a lot of exciting stuff being done to the Alpha. Obviously, you guys can follow me along on the Alpha Owners Exchange and the Alpha, all the Alpha and the Ascender and all the groups on Facebook. But anyway, hope you guys get something out of this review. Like, again, it's only my opinion. Someone may have a different opinion than me, but just thought I'd help you out, guys. And that's that. Peace.